This report considers the objections received following statutory consultation to the proposed traffic regulation order for the introduction of various car parking charges. Committee will recall in December 2023 approving the parking strategy, which provides a clear framework to manage parking in Wirral. The approved Wirral parking strategy sets out a number of short-term objectives, and this report details the outcome from consultation on a number of Wirral parking policy short-term objectives, including the application of standardised parking charges across the borough, together with a 20p increase. This includes the introduction of car parking charges at additional locations where charges do not currently apply, and the implementing of traffic regulation orders covering additional areas within Wirral, including coastal locations. The proposed parking charges align with the approved parking strategy, which encourages fairness and equity across the borough, with standardised charging allowing the council to continue to provide public car parks and access to areas into the future in a fair and sustainable manner. Charges are already in place in many council-provided car parks, and the parking strategy parking policy 2 sets out the need to provide parity across the off-street car parks across the borough. On-street charges would assist in maintaining access to premises and the free movement of traffic, as it would direct people to park in identified places rather than simply parking on the roadside. During the peak periods, parking charges can assist in managing the demand for spaces, ensuring a high turnover of those spaces, and encourage some motorists to consider where and for how long they park and their mode of transport when visiting an area. The charges proposed would allow the council to set charges to reflect parking strategy and provide consistent charging in a fair and reasonable manner while meeting the aims of the approved strategy. Once in place, the fees and charges will be reviewed annually against the legal tests set out in section 122 of the Road Traffic Regulation Act, listed in full in section 5.6 of this report. The council works with a large number of volunteer groups, emergency response agencies such as the RNLI and other organisations and charities, and if committee approve the recommendations, then it is our intention to continue to work with these groups in providing parking concessions where appropriate. Chair, in particular, I would draw committee's attention to the following appendices in the report, which provide important context to any decision. Appendix 2 provides a comprehensive, anonymised schedule of all the consultation responses and representations received in relation to the proposed TRO and introduction of parking charges in new locations. And Appendix 3 provides information about the TRO consultation process, the key findings, and sets out officers' detailed responses to the objections received by themed grouping. The recommendations to committee are as follows. Number 1 is to note the comments on objections received following the public consultation as part of the necessary traffic regulation order process, together with officers' responses. And 2, Part A, is introduction of charges as set out in Appendix 1 at off-street car parks, owned car parks by the council, that are listed in Appendix 1 to this report, through the introduction of an amended traffic regulation order. Part B is introduction of a £1 overnight charge at off-street council-owned car parks that are also listed in Appendix 1 to this report, and that will be an amendment to the traffic regulation order. Part C, an increase of 20p per hour to the car parking charges, again set out in Appendix 1 to this report, that are currently charged through the introduction of a variation to the existing traffic regulation order. Part D is introduction of car parking charges in on-street bays at New Brighton, Wirral Mills and West Kirby, as detailed in Appendix 1, and that through the introduction of a new traffic regulation order. A £1 overnight charge in on-street parking bays at New Brighton, Wirral Mills and West Kirby, through the introduction of a new traffic regulation order. Part F is an increase of 20 pence per hour to the car parking charges at on-street bays, with fees already applied in the Birkenhead controlled parking zone through the introduction of an amended traffic regulation order. Part G is a £1 overnight charge in on-street parking bays at the Birkenhead controlled parking zone through the introduction of an amended traffic regulation order. Thank you, Chair. Myself and Paul Traynor, Assistant Director for Highways and Infrastructure, are happy to take any questions from members through you.